everyone. I'm Queen Diambi Kabatuswila Chiyoyomwata Mukalenga Mukaji Wankashama of the Bakwaluntu people, which means the Queen of the Order of the Leopard of the Bakwaluntu people in Kasai in the Democratic Republic of Congo. I am also Queen Mother of the African descendants of Brazil. And today I'm here to share something very, very important from Africa, of our traditions. I'm here to talk about the Ubuntu principle. Ubuntu is really the fundamental base of the African philosophy, and it talks about unity and connection and connectivity between people and between people and just everything that exists. So Ubuntu is really ancient and very fundamental in all the way we practice, our life, in all the way we practice any activities. We always think about Ubuntu because it's really about a community. It's a principle, a fundamental principle, a building block of community. And so I want to share a little bit about Ubuntu, and I'm here actually to do the Ubuntu challenge, the Ubuntu Love Challenge, and it's also part of the Ubuntu Love Festival. So I'm here to share about that. But before I even talk much more about Ubuntu, I wanted to show you and explain to you one of the most ancient traditions that exists. It's the tradition of libation, because every time we have to start something important, we have to do like a ritual, and the ritual is really something we do to bring our attention together, to connect with each other, and to give each other the respect that we deserve, so we can share fundamental information, so we can advance as people. So today I'm here, I have a jar, and in this jar there's fresh water, and I will pour the water as I do the libation, because libation means really pouring. So we pour water, and it could be another liquid, but usually it's water, and we pour water into either on the earth or into the lake. As you can see, I have a beautiful lake behind me, and it's an amazing body of water, because water is importance in what I'm going to be talking about today. And we pour libation really to express our gratitude, to come and in a space where we are together and we talk about how grateful we are to be here, to be manifested here in this reality. But how are we manifested here in this reality if it wasn't for our ancestors and all the ones who have come before us and made this life possible for us to be here today? So in there we have what we call ancestor reverence. So we give a reverence to all the ancestors who are here, that are my ancestors and the ancestors of the people who are watching this video, and all the ancestors of the people who are promoting this program, who are working on creating this community of love and compassion and solidarity, and also to the ancestors of everybody that we even have a blood relationship or not. They can be a bloodline, or they can also be people who are no longer living but have inspired us in so many ways, either by their philosophy, their teaching, their achievements in science, in all kinds of things that have inspired us, so we can become who we are today. So, and everybody else, it doesn't have to be people that are so super important or famous. It can also be very simple people, the people who, for instance, worked on conceptualizing, how to make, something useful that we use today. How come we driving our cars? I mean, many people put their mind into doing, the car and the advancement of that technology. How come I'm using this technology today, where I'm just making a video and I can post it online, and it can just be, seen by millions? All these people, these thinkers, all the people that contributed to that. And it can be, the roads, it can be, our sewer system, it can be anything, because we are a community. We don't thrive on our own. We arrive here because of two parents, but these two parents depended on so many more, two parents each, and so forth, for generation and generation. But we also arrive here thanks to the help of all the people around our bloodline who made it possible for them to carry their life forward, because we know the life is complicated. Many have died in before they were able to carry life, many died because they died of hunger, or they died because of a war, or they were kidnapped and put in the human trafficking and died in the ocean. Many were not able to project themselves into a living being as we are today. But we still have to remember that the human experience is the human of an entire family, of an entire species, and it's a long story. It's a quite amazing and interesting story, and we have to give reverence to all of those who have come before us. But before anything, when we go back in time and we go back in our journey upward into our existence, we also know that we must have come from a primordial ancestor, the first ancestor, the ancestor that made it possible for all of this to exist. So this is what we call in Africa the primordial source of life. In Kemetic language, it was what was referred as Nun, and Nun is basically, if we have to symbolize it, is the primordial waters from which we all come from. So this is why I'm in front of a body of water, because it's a very strong symbol, and it's really something that I want to develop more, the water element. We know that there are 4 elements, the water, the earth, or the minerals, there is the fire, and there is the air. And all these elements put together can bring, the magnificent things that we can see around us. But there are much more things in existence that we cannot see, we cannot smell, we cannot hear, we cannot feel, but that are still around us and within us and above us. So those things we have to realize, the place we have in this chain of life, it's so important. So the primordial ancestor that I can refer to as Nun, that you can call God, of course, that you can call, spirit, that you can call universal matrix, that you can call according to your own, religious belief or spiritual beliefs, or just, how you conceptualize, this primordial source of energy that, manifested itself, that was just, in a sense, a potential, but that manifested itself in all of this and all of us. So when you look and you think very carefully, you must understand that when you think about that concept, we basically are like the branches or the leaves of a single tree. So we all come from that primordial ancestor. And when we do pour libation, we have to remember that. And when we pour libation, we also have to remember that the purpose of us, gathering together and placing our intention for that gathering to be a successful experience, to be something that will bring healing, will bring resolution, will bring solutions, will advance, the cause, and will promote, life and prosperity, and engage us into peace processes and peaceful attitude. So when we do libation, it's usually at the very beginning of any gathering, of any important gathering, where it's kind of like a prayer or a praise to our spirit, our perseverance of trying to make of what we have in the potential we have of life, trying to manifest a lot of good things, especially to make sure that we help each other and we make sure that we have a good life and we promote good things. So when we sit together and we share this process of libation, it's really all about community. It's all about love and peace and compassion, and to remember the source of our life and to reflect on that. So why do we use water, and why is water such an important symbol? Well, if we just think alone about the planet on which we stand today, or where we are, it's really a big bubble of water floating across the universe. We tend to think about it as an earth, like a dirt, land, because we are land creatures and we walk around and we don't realize that water is really the primordial element on this planet, meaning that water is this planet is mostly made out of water. This planet is made out of water, and everything that comes from this planet is really made out of mostly water. So I can take my own example. I am a human being. About 70% of my body, if not more, is just basically water. And water is in everything. Water is in the air we breathe. Water is in the words we speak. We have heard so much lately because of the COVID-19. We have heard so much about the droplets, the famous droplets. Now, why do we have to wear masks? We have to wear masks because when we speak, we speak with water. Our words are imbued with water. And therefore, if our words are imbued with water, it's like everything that really is of matter is really made out of water mainly. And the area has contained water, and we are all surrounded by water, because this is what this planet really is. And we have to understand that water has memory. Water remembers. Water is not just like a body or thing. Many experiences have been done in laboratories and by very proficient and brilliant mind to analyze water and how water behaves. Water really carries information. Water carries memories. Things have been done, like studies have been done about water. And I think one of the very great book about water is the Secret Message of Water, or something similar. And we see that when even we speak with water, or we place some intention onto water, water crystallizes differently according to how we spoke to water, or what did we say to water. So if you take a body of water and you say good words, and you place a loving intention, and you say our beautiful words, and you are grateful and thankful, and then you crystallize this water, you use the water to crystallize it, and when the crystal of water forms, they are absolutely magnificent. They are absolutely breathtaking beauties. And to the opposite, when you do the same experience and you put the water in an environment where you send out negative thoughts, negative words, you really put it in the worst condition. When you're going to crystallize that water, you will also have a different response, which is going to be almost like a complete disorganization of the water structure in crystals. So that kind of experience just kind of like lets you think. So if water in a bottle react this way, imagine us who are made of water. Imagine this planet that is made of water. When we put good intention, when we put good words towards each other, when we encourage each other, when we tell each other words of love and compliments and so forth, what kind of effect that must be having on our bodies, on the water that is in our system. The same way with the planet. When we talk and we put our intention of doing amazing things and great things, and we want to help, and we want that there is more healing, that there is no wars, that there is respect for the environment and for the animals and for all beings here. Imagine when the water that is the majority of this planet receive receive those vibrations, because it's all about vibration. Imagine how the potential that it can release to heal this planet. So this is one of the reasons why water is so important. The second reason why water is important is, of course, I mentioned it before, it's the source of life. So without water, there is no life on this planet. I don't know about other planets, but on this planet here, without water, there is no life. So water symbolizes life itself. Let's not forget that we come from our mother's womb. I have 2 boys, so I know what it is. I had a big, stomach pregnant, and it was full of water. So my children, before becoming terrestrial being and being able to breathe air, they had to adapt and grow those lungs, and they were living for 9 months in water. And so this is why water is also a great symbol to associate with life. The third one is that water is an element that can cleanse and purify. So it's important to understand that we live in very, very interesting time. Not that it's the first time we live in interesting time. We've been having a really great odyssey of humanity, and during this odyssey many things have happened. Many good things have happened, but unfortunately also many bad things have happened. We have caused a lot of trauma. We have our human activity has caused a lot of pain, hurt through wars and all kinds of conflicts, and also sometimes our own genius that doesn't bring good things forward, like, you know, inventing atomic bomb or nuclear bombs and using these kind of weapons. We may be smart to do these, to invent all these technology, but we are not very wise in many instances because we don't have contingency plans for what if it doesn't yield the benefit that we thought were expected. And so we have a lot of waste that is now causing harm to our planet and to each other. We have developed many ways of being, of interacting with each other, many ways of exploiting our resources that are not conducive to human or to life thriving. And so those are things that we have to be able to consider when we think about making libation and using water to cleanse things. So it's not just a personal cleansing, because of course as human we go through different very difficult experiences in life. You know, we go to loss, we go to, you know, different traumas, we go to fear, stress, anxiety. Look at what just happened with the COVID crisis. Everybody was worried, everything was shut down. We ask ourselves a lot of questions, and even now that we are reopening, you know, there is still a lot of doubts. There is many people that lost their jobs. There are people that are losing their business or are going to lose their businesses. There are fear, people lost lives. And this is just a small example because, you know, there is a pandemic condition in the world all along, not just because of the COVID crisis, but there is pandemic condition really in many places in the world, like Africa, where people die.